All right, we're good. Hi, Danielle.
Okay. Hi, Christine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad you're here to chat with us today. I love what you do. And, we were just chatting before I turned the record button on, but why don't you tell anyone who's watching this a little bit about what you do for your business?
Okay, sure. So I own a brick and mortar named Monaco, and I've had that for 10 years. 10 years I've had Monaco. It started out as a little tiny shop, a little tiny idea in my head that I wanted to make jewelry, and then I started to bring in clothing, and then it started to evolve. It started in Brooklyn, and then I ended up bringing it to Point Pleasant Beach in New Jersey, and then we expanded a few times within the course of a couple of years, and then I started to do some styling. So I have a little style company, and lots of fashion shows, lots of photo shoots. And then I went back to while still doing Monaco, I went back to my first love, which was designing jewelry. So I have Ryan and Ruby. So I have Monaco, Glowing Forward, and Ryan and Ruby, all under the same.
Yeah, I love that.
So
you work with people in different ways. And then, you also just, if I can mention, you said there may be a coaching side to the business you might add, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Awesome. So retail people, they need coaches, they
do.
It's not a normal thing in that world, I guess, to have a coach.
Right.
Yeah. So why don't you talk about where you were before you joined the Mastermind with me? Where were you in your business and in your life?
Okay. So before I joined the Mastermind with you, my business was growing really rapidly, and I felt very stuck, almost like no direction. I didn't know where to go as it was growing. So I was just out networking and really just seeking answers, honestly. And when I remember the first time I saw you at E-Women Network. You had a booth there. And then I was sitting in the room at the luncheon thinking, what am I doing here? I don't even know what I'm doing here. And then, boom, I saw you with your very clear branding. And I was just like, I need to work with that woman. I know I need to work with her. So I went over and I signed up, and then I thought, okay, maybe I'm going to go to your live event. And then I was scared. I got I don't know if I should do this or not. And then you followed up with me. And then I ended up going, and I think it was your Amplify event.
Right. Yeah. And
I remember, in this industry, you meet a lot of people who want to help you, and I thought, wow, Christine is the real deal. She really wants to help us. She gets it, and a lot of times you're looking for guidance, and you find people, but they're kind of, they're salesy, and they're all have a different pitch. But, you really got it. You really understood how alone it was to be an entrepreneur, how much direction we needed. And anytime I needed the answer to something, you always had it for me. And it was never it's kind of like what I teach my staff. If somebody comes in and asks you a question, always know what you're doing. Always own it. Always know what you're doing. And I felt like you had that. I was like, she knows what she's doing. Even if she's not telling me the truth, which I knew you were, I believed you. You know what I mean? You really were great. And that whole, and I didn't sign up with you at that time because I was I don't know. And then I went to the next event that you had.
Inside Out.
Where Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I loved going to the retreats. I loved it. It was so great. It was so enlightening. Not just for the different strategies I use in business, but even just for my mindset and being able to gain some perspective on my next moves or on my business, on my staff, on all of this. So
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah. And like, specifically, once you joined the mastermind, what has happened in that time from before you joined the mastermind to being in the mastermind? Like, what are the changes that you've seen, or made in your business as a result?
Okay. Well, I definitely, I scheduled out my email marketing. I was really, really good with that. My social media came together. Everything was big. I kind of basically systematized everything. My social media is systematized. My email is systematized. My staff is systematized. The way that we run things is all systematized.
Yeah.
From an employee handbook to the way our policies with our clients. So
Yeah.
everything is really systematized, and I think that was like a really good asset for me for the business, because when you're a small business, it starts out with a scratch of paper and you're writing things down, and then you have to move into the computer world and everything's on a POS and your customers are all in a database, and and that follow-up is really important, and you have to be organized and systematized to do it. It can't be, oh wow, I'm really busy. It's like, oh wow, I'm really busy and I can't forget to do something, so
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when you first came to work with me, the big focus was systems, because things were not systematized. And I remember,
they weren't.
yeah. And I just remember you feeling like relieved that you were finally getting that in place and you were learning how to do it, appropriately. So, okay. What about, so you mentioned the retreats. The retreats are awesome because I always say it gets you out of the business, right? And just like working on yourself.
Yeah.
So what was good about the coaching calls, like as far as being able to, get answers from me or connect with me, or access me for help?
Okay. So what was great about the coaching calls was the accountability, what I knew I had to work on that week, what I got stuck on that week, where I could kind of brainstorm it with you on the phone. What should I do? What should I focus on? This is where I have my challenges, and and even just taking the time to do it for myself, because a lot of times you say, oh, I want to get this done and I want to do this, but I don't know how to do it, and then it gets pushed to the side. But having that coaching call was something that was going to make me do it, and it was going to give me my answer that I needed and lead me to my next step. So I thought that they were really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And did you also, the thing about a mastermind is it's one-on-one coaching, right? But, and some masterminds don't even have one-on-one coaching, but in our mastermind, it's one-on-one coaching, but it's also the community. And I know that you met like a lot of new people through the community, and there was also like their support as well. So I always like to mention that because, that's part of a great mastermind, is to have that community feeling, because we always feel so isolated or alone as entrepreneurs. Yeah.
So I love the mastermind. I love the mastermind, and I love the retreat, and I love to meet with the other women, and I love to hear their ideas. I love to help them what they were struggling with, and it kind of felt like we were all in one room to help each other. And there were major breakthroughs in those rooms. Breakthroughs. I mean, people who started programs that, maybe were just an idea in their head, and then it really it came to life, and I miss the accountability so much that I have a friend who's in business, and in January we started to be accountability partners, and I mean, I just can't stress how important it is, and because we both have received coaching and we understand how it works, we know what we're supposed to do when we meet with each other, and we know that, and we've had major breakthroughs. We just had a meeting on Tuesday, and we had major breakthroughs. Like, we talk on the phone, but like that meeting in person was like, wow, now we know. I would have never thought I was going to do this next move. And then by her and I meeting together was like, wow, now I know what we're going to do, and now I know what I'm going to do. So
yeah,
it's really, really important. Really
I'm glad
important.
you mentioned that.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of times you get coached, and you know, the coaching industry is not, I don't think, what it used to be. You know, I see a lot of things that I would stay away from when it came to a coach, and you know, just because I was coached by you, and I know now like how it is supposed to be. You know, I know, you know, what I'm supposed to get, how I'm supposed to feel, and what kind of support that you get. And that mastermind is something that is like, you know, you'll always remember it, you'll always refer back to it, and that support is just invaluable, I think.
Yeah, I love that. I just love that. So I guess, you know, one of the things that comes up when people think about joining a program like this is, you know, it's a year long, it's a big commitment, it's a financial commitment. What would you say in terms of like the return on investment? Like, is it a good ROI? You know, putting that money down is not like a small thing. So, you know, when you came out of the mastermind and you look back, was it a good investment?
Yes, of course. It was a very good investment. And I look at it as, you know, if you're going to advertise in your business, you know, I would base it that way. If you want to reach more people, you need to be trained to do so, and you need to be trained in your business to be able to have your systems in place and have gain perspective, and you can't do it by yourself. You just can't. You know, you really need this coaching, and you need the support, and it's just going to push you to the next level. I just feel like it's, you know, that stepping stone that you need to get to your next level. And then after that, it's, you know, amazing and great things that you're going to do. So I would definitely say, you know, it's definitely worth every dollar.
Yeah, that's great. And I know that, you know, for some people who might be watching this, they may have never been in a mastermind before. So it's like so helpful to hear from people who have been on the inside of like what exactly goes on. So thank you, Danielle. Last question for you. If somebody's watching this and they're, you know, thinking about working with me or thinking about joining the mastermind, what would you say to somebody like that?
I would say when you're picking a coach, definitely choose very wisely. And, you know, Christine is definitely the real deal. If you have a question, she has the answer to it. If you need support, she's going to support you. I have never felt unsupported working with Christine, even to this day where I'm not paying for you know, coaching, but I feel like I could reach out to you and ask you a question. You know, I feel like you're very giving on social media, in your Facebook group. You give a lot of advice, and I even thought in your live event that you gave so much, you know, and even with the one training we used to do, you give it to us when we do the mastermind. It's like a recorded training. You know, the recordings that we were doing.
Yeah.
We used to send. Those are invaluable too, and it's like you can always go back to those and listen to them. You know, how to be the CEO of your company, or I mean, I still remember the titles, and I still remember listening to them. And you know, so I would say that if you're on the fence, deciding on, you know, whether or not to work with Christine or not, you are going to get so much out of this, and I would recommend it highly. And if they want to give me a call and talk to me and get my, approval or get advice from me of what I've learned, I would say yes, definitely.
Oh,
I would refer
nice.
you 100%. And I have referred you to many people. So
yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. So I would say do it.
Awesome.
Definitely do it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Danielle. This was so helpful.
You're welcome.
And where can people find you on social media? We might as well put that out there too.
Yeah. So you can find me at on Instagram. You can find me at Monaco Design, and for my jewelry company, you can find me at Ryan and Ruby on social media. My website for my store is shopcmonaco.com, and for my jewelry company is ryanandruby.com. So.
I love it. I love it. So, I mean, you heard it from Danielle. Reach out to her if you have questions. She's a real live person who's done the mastermind, and she can help answer your questions. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Danielle.
Yeah, thank you, Christine. It was great talking to you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.